In Grace and Truth, the slide's on the screen there, we're going to join the conversation that's already happening in our world around gender and sexuality. We're all sexuality, but leaning more into the LGBT conversation. I don't believe there's a more important or relevant conversation happening today in the world than that one. And sadly, the church, not just Element Church, but the church, God's church, has not done the best job joining the conversation. We've made statements, we've declared our stance, but we've not really joined the conversation. So in the series, we want to help equip all of us in the church to more confidently join the conversation. How should we respond? What does the Bible say about this subject? What does the Bible mean about what it says? That's what this series is about, this intersection of faith, gender, and sexuality. I said this last week. I'll keep on saying it as we move towards and go through the series. More than the church needs to be right about what we believe, we need to be right about how we respond. Because if we are right about what we believe, but wrong in how we respond, then the very people who we want to hear what we believe will not listen. We'll miss our opportunity. The very ones we want to belong will not want to belong if we don't respond the right way. Case in point, and here's how this fits into this message. Andrew Marin, in the biggest research project of its kind, it took over 6 years to conclude, he interviewed hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of LGBT people from every state in America, including Washington, D.C. The project was then analyzed and approved by the University of Chicago. And since studies like this are often contentious or just dismissed due to bias, he found two professional scholars on polar opposite ends of ideologies on this gender sexuality debate, and both of those scholars stood behind the findings of this study. Each person in the study were asked about their religious background, and here's what they found, because a portion of the study. 83% of LGBT people were raised in the church. 83%. 51% of those people left the church after age 18. Now, that probably does not surprise any of us in the room that is the case. But do you know how many of them left the church because of what the church believed about marriage and sexuality? Only 3%. Only 3% of LGBT people left the church because of what the church believed. So why did they leave? Well, there was a number of reasons, half a dozen or so. Here's a few that stood out to me. 18% said they left the church because they didn't feel safe in their own church. 12% left because they said the church was unwilling to have a conversation. Hello. 9% were kicked out of their church. Were kicked out. Some of them, some gay people, often young people, are kicked out of their homes and families or kicked out of their churches for simply having a same-sex attraction with no prior action on it and sometimes with no intention to act on it. That they actually hold to the same belief on marriage and sexuality that their family or their church has, but they are kicked out of their homes and kicked out of their churches for simply having that attraction. My question is, does that sound like father to the fatherless, defender of widows, placing the lonely in families, setting the prisoner free? This blew me away. 76% of LGBT people who left the church are open to coming back as long as the church makes some changes. And before you think, well, sure, they want us to change everything we believe, that's not the case. Only 8% said the church would need to change their theology of marriage and sexuality to come back. The changes they are looking for are relational, not theological. That's incredible to me. It's incredible to me. So listen, this is a sign. This study to me was a sign of humanity's need in general to belong. That yes, it's one of the reasons why we're doing the series, but really it's why we do everything we do. Because every new day is a reminder that because of my God, I have a place to belong. With all my baggage and all my scars and all my sins, I have a place to belong, and you have a place to belong with all that junk in your life as well. And friends, there is not a greater place for anyone to belong than God's church, than his church. That's why we're doing this. And there's not a greater way for you to get connected into the family and to feel like you belong and to get plugged into a group at our church. That's the best way to feel connected at Element Church. So not only are we doing a series called Grace and Truth, but the majority of our small groups are doing a 10-week small group study that goes right along with it. And we're going to dive into some deep conversations in these groups about faith, gender, and sexuality. You're going to need 2 books that go along with the study if you're going to the group. Those books are available at the Element store, and we'll keep stockpiling as long as we need to. I encourage you to sign up for a group today by using the information on your seats or going to our website, elementchurch.life, or stopping out there at the Next Steps wall. If you have questions about groups, please stop by the table out in the lobby and ask questions about them. If you have questions about this series, please don't hesitate to ask, and please make it a priority to be here. I believe this can be an incredibly unifying and impactful time for our church. And listen, if you are here and you are gay, or you are questioning, maybe you're watching or listening online, and you want to be in a group, I just want you to know that I understand, by attending a group, I understand the anxiety, the fear, the uncomfortability that could cause for you. And so because of the sensitivity of the subject matter we are discussing, I am creating a specific, closed, 100% confidential group for you if you're gay or questioning and you need that confidentiality. This group, I will be leading the group personally. It is by request only. We are not listing it online. It will not be in the brochure. It will not be public in any way. If you want information on that group, or if you just want to share your story, especially if you're gay or questioning, then you can email me. This email only goes to me. I'm the only one that will see this, okay? Pastor Jeff at elementchurch.life. Come straight to my computer. Nobody else will see it. If that's you, I'd love to have that conversation with you as we walk through this series.